Greetings, everyone. My name is Buck Business. Konnichiwa. I'm Kawaii Critic, and today we're here to review My Little Pony Season 8, Episode 8, The Parent Map. So, this episode begins with a male pony giving Sunburst-san some mail, which he doesn't pay for. Then his cutie mark begins to glow. So he goes to visit Twilight-san, and he also sees that Starlight-san is glowing. However, both of them become bummed out when they see the location is Cypher's Hollow, which apparently is their original home, which raises so many more questions than it does answers, unfortunately. But we'll save that for the end of this review. As for now, we'll just stick to what we know of this episode. So, we see that their parents are going to be a primary focus in this episode. Sunburst-san's mom wants him to have plans, and Starlight-san's dad wants her to be a foal, or, treat her like a foal. So, we have this town that they visit, their little home, which is separated by two sides. One is moving towards a brighter and more sophisticated future, while the other remains in the past. And already it sets up a really interesting premise, the past versus the future. And I can speak from this from personal experience. As someone who's done Civil War reenactments, I have a tendency to have a focus on the past while also appreciating what has been coming out for the setup of the future, which includes stuff from video games and movies. So it's interesting to see those two put to the extremes here. Indeed. So the parents argue over which one is better, and the way they talk to each other, especially in the beginning, this seems more like an allegory for divorce. I mean, nowhere in the episode does it even seem like these two are even in a relationship. However, again, the attitude they show each other is that of two individuals in a divorce. So it did that better than the other episode with the going back and forth between the land and the sea. But Starlight Sun hones him back in, and they try to get the parents, to see that the extremes that they went to have gone too far. So they show the dad this hard bread from the old times, which personally reminds me of hardtack from the Civil War reenactments. And if you've never had hardtack, then good on you, because that is a potential teeth breaker right there. And they show the mom that the gate that has this little intro, while playing it over and over again, eventually does get annoying. So at this point, the parents agree to at least stop arguing with each other, while kind of still be in their ways about the past and the future. So the father wants to help by looking into the past, while the mom tries to create this plan with this little acting skit with these other ponies. And Starlight and Sunburst at this point don't think that the parents aren't the problem anymore. They aren't able to pick up that they are a part of the problem. So it is interesting that they brought up Spike, because that is an issue, because, I mean, that is a thing, right? He was the one who started that issue way back in Triple Threat. And the way that they solved that, well, that's another issue. That's another review right there that we have already covered. So no need to retread on that. Anyways, Starlight Sun's dad goes into the backstory of the town off screen. The mom of Sunburst Sun tries to make issues, and they both try to hide at this point. They get further and further infuriated with their parents to the point of hiding. They try moving into the library to talk to the other ponies in private, to more so to avoid the parents, only to find out that one of the parents is actually already there. So both of them yell out their parents and they cry off, very akin to parental guidance, with the exception of what happens next, which is them going and then having the parents apologize for the actions and actually try to explain why their intentions were their intentions were good. It's just that they got over carried away both by the past but for different reasons. For Sunburst Mom, it was all about creating plans because was struggling at school. And for Starlight, it was remaining young because he wanted to remain in the past in general. So, yes, unlike parental guidance, we actually do get an apology from these two and an explanation as to why they were doing the things that they were doing. So, their mission does get complete when they hug it out and they say they finally explain what their issues were to their parents. So the parents do want to visit them, and that makes them want to leave even faster once their cutie marks glow. So they wave to the train as frantically as possible. So this episode was actually pretty good. Unlike A Royal Problem, which was an absolute mess of an episode, this actually has an even flow. However, it does break continuity, or at least it makes the continuity of Starlight way more confusing, and for Sunburst as well. It raises a lot of questions as to when exactly things happened here. So the Cypher's Hollow Place is their true home, but in Starlight's uh, flashback, she lived as a filly in the town where she did the whole cutie mark thing, right? So did she leave as a filly and just stay in the town? But this then also raises the question of why they would call this place their home then. I mean, which place is their home, right? Maybe they just went back and forth, but that doesn't end up happening, right? I mean, especially for Starlight because she was trying to apparently avoid her father. So she left as a filly, but she didn't get to the town until she was an adult. So did she travel perhaps? That's the only way because remember when she first knows about the town from the flashbacks, it was from Maud, and she was already an adult in that flashback, so she must have only found that town fairly recently, maybe. But then there's the amount of time it would have taken to actually brainwash and shift all the ponies into that attitude. There's no way that that could have happened overnight. So again, it there's some things in between that just don't fit. I mean, apparently, Starlight had a Philly rocker phase, I guess. which I guess could make sense. But I mean, just the whole moving back and forth, or the amount of travel, or all that other stuff. Again, in which place is their true home? I don't know. Regardless, by itself, without thinking about other episodes, it's actually pretty effective at doing its job. So that is our review of this episode. Stick tap, tang tum tori. And if you enjoyed this episode, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, everyone, farewell.